Hello, welcome back to Seawolf's Den. I'm Crafting Ron. Some time ago I did a video on these 3 Happy Meal toys, asking for ideas on what I could do with them. Didn't get a lot of response, and not mad at that. I mean, they're not very inspiring, but I think I've come up with something and I'll do it. Think I might use all 3. This guy I may not, and he may get tossed because he just looks silly. But these 2, if I cut the torso off this one, and the bottom half of this one, I can get give him legs rather than this silly air thing, and make him into a variant of an owlbear. Obviously, an owlbear is a wild creature, but this guy has armor and blades on him. So I was thinking about cutting off the blades, the whole arm, or the whole hand, and putting his claws on them and maybe but then I still have armor on him. He still has like this armor on him. So owlbear god, or an owlbear, intelligent owlbear, an owlbear race. I don't know if that was a thing, but I'm gonna make an owlbear creature out of this intelligent owlbear warrior. So I'm gonna use bandsaw, cut off right at the line there, cut off right at the belt line there, glue them together and see what I get. So until next time. We're back with the Happy Meal toy project that I decided to do. Cuts went well, and now these will go together somewhat. I kept on saying owlbear because that's what I was thinking of the whole time, because I had the miniature in the background, but it could just be a bird folk. Large, or I guess it would be giant or huge birdfolk warrior. So just without wings. That's probably why I was calling for an owlbear, because he did have wings. I could put wings on him. I think that would look ridiculous though. I'm thinking I'm going to have to use some hot glue to kind of cover that up. We'll glue these 2 pieces together. Alright, so we're going to glue this. Now I had to cut off a piece, that piece associated to his gun. Here, it continued on downward. My plan is to cover that up, but again, this goes down probably where that lightning bolt is, so I can just continue on down and use hot glue to kind of organically show a fur, maybe. It doesn't fit perfectly, but it is close. What I'll do, and even the belt looks like it goes together. Sort of. And what we'll do, so it does overlap a little. We'll have to cover that up with some hot glue, make it look more like one piece. But I think I can pull that off. Either that, or I could, once it dries, I could use a Dremel tool and smooth it out, and then use hot glue. So far, so good on him. I'm going to put him on I have a base for that kind of creature. Okay, we're back with the Skylander Giants mishmash. I like this, except that it just still screams Skylander Giants with these arms. So I'm debating at this point cutting them off. I can use the precision of the bandsaw to cut through here and then cut through there, and I'll have the armor left with no arms, and then I could mount some Final Faction, my favorite kit bash from the dollar store, onto his shoulders. I'd have to shave off some of this and just have it. I think it's roughly it's a little longer, but I still think these are more cartoony anyway. So short. So I'm gonna risk it and cut these silly arms off, and I'll put these arms on him. And then thought about maybe the axe, but that's pretty freaking huge. Or hammer, or whatever you want to call it, or cut this up and make it a sword. Of course, these are all big, so I would just cut this off, and there you go. That's a sword. Yeah, I think I'll do that. Okay, you can see the results of the cut. In fact, I've been experimenting. I got his arms off perfectly. Although I kind of like the look of that. I mean, I didn't, but it still was just Skylander Giants screaming it. So I got some arms from one of the creatures of Final Faction and cut them down enough that when you put them up inside here, they fit and they hold. At least one does. One holds, and I can have him pose him any way I want to now. and it looks good. Looks better than those cartoony arms for sure. I'm liking this even further. So I grinded down those with the Dremel. I cleaned this up a little bit. You can see how I cut it. Kept the armor. A little bit of the edge was taken out, but that'll be covered up in paint. And the only other part that I wanted to do right now is a little hot glue along the edges, kind of fill in the overlap. Oh yeah, and fill in this hole. What we can do with that is my favorite trick with the compressed air. Now that hole is covered up. What I'm going to do with this bolt is I'm going to use hot glue to just make it look more like hair. And I think I know what I'm going to call him. Those that know, if you know, you know, kind of thing. I'm going to call him my War Eagle. I'm going to call him my War Eagle. There you go. All right, let that be cool. And then I'm going to put the arms on, and then we'll work on the weapon. All right, we're going to glue these together. One arm at a time. Okay, War Eagle is coming together. His back mane probably needs a little bit more hot glue or a little bit more touch up. Arms look great. I'm going to put a sword in his hand, like so, and an axe in his hand. There's a couple things I'm going to do first. First, I'm going to base him. You base him on I've done this before. Got this from Miniature Mashup. It's a can top. Used a safety can opener rather than the regular can opener to take it off. I've got a lot of these. My wife does it all the time just because I asked her to. Okay, so what I want to do is get an idea of where his foot's going to be and poke a hole in it and put a screw through it, and hopefully it'll hold him down rather than gluing to metal, which is not always the best between metal and plastic. So somewhere in those lettering, shake well. So I take an awl, it just takes a little pop, get both ends. If I can get a hole in his foot, which I might need to pre-drill that, which I'll do with a hand drill. Get me a screwdriver. There we go. He's nailed down. Not exactly centered, but good enough. What I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to put a bead on the end so that it's not so it has a place to rest. This is going to sit there and kind of teeter-totter. I mean, I'll glue it in, but I think that it would look better with like a bead on the end so it kind of has something to rest on. Okay, just have to trim that down so it'll go inside the bead. Let's go with that. Okay, perfect. I am going to flock it like I've done others. That's ready for the sword. Okay. Progress made. I'm going to flock this guy while everything else is drying. Just put some PVC glue over the top of the can top, and then I'm just going to dip it in sand. Okay, the War Eagle is more or less done. I gotta spray it with some varnish, but I went with this color scheme. I ran into issues with the belt because I did that hot glue, so it kind of made it more look like a sash, and used a 40K bit for his belt buckle because that just wasn't working for me. The bit is just a shield. I dremeled out the stuff behind it, dremeled a place for it to sit, and glued it in. Went with a kind of an energetic looking hammer or axe, whichever you want to call this. Fiery, glowing middle. I think it looks okay. Looks pretty good, I think. I think it looks good. And blue and orange for reasons. Yeah, the main, and I get it, people's like, why would an eagle have hair? Well, I had a lightning bolt in the back, so I had to come up with something. So it's not really, it's a mane, kind of a feathery mane, if you want to imagine that. But I really, I mean, overall, I really like the way this looks. There are paint mistakes that I even see now that I could spend hours trying to fix, but I'm just trying to get it to a table ready state. I really like the arms. Yep, it's pretty big against. So that's an owlbear versus my War Eagle. So he's slightly bigger. I just laid down some regular characters. It's an orc. Human barbarian. Human fighter. So that size measures up to 75 millimeters, or roughly 3 inches wide, which adds up to huge. So you got, I would even throw in a second owlbear. I think a full party, maybe 3 more characters, could take this huge creature on and his owlbear friend. I am really happy with the way this turned out, given that it's basically 2 Happy Meal toys smashed together. Yeah, the belt is my worst part of it. I'm not real happy with it, but it does come together. You really can't tell that there were 2 of them. This goes along with all my other Skylander Giants conversions as pretty good. Table ready. I'm not going to say this is going into some kind of contest or whatever, but the paint job is good enough. So project done. Until next time, seek the wolf in thyself.